What inspired you to open your own coffee shop?
As a professor of philosophy, I study game theory and evolutionary game theory, and I saw this as an opportunity to test my conjectures. And the proof is in the pudding, and I feel vindicated and validated. Thank you very much. Wow.
Wow. I don't really know if... Why did you choose the name Syndicate?
Good question, Elijah. Syndicate, in my way of thinking, in game theoretic terms, is when you have a group of specialized individuals that all coordinate together in order to achieve a common purpose. And in the case of Syndicate, the store, we have 3 different groups, 3 different programs, and they are all coordinated with each other, but they all also are acting as autonomous agents, and they achieve the purpose of giving the perfect coffee, the perfect baked item, the perfect, say, breakfast or lunch item to a customer, and voila, success.
Oh, maybe one. When did you start sending you?
It was a dark and foreboding time, my little son, Elijah. It was 2019, September 2019, and we only were like maybe 3 months into the beginning of this operation, and then COVID came down on us like a 9-pound hammer, bonk, bonk, and just about snuffed us out. But I believe it's because of our game theoretic underpinnings that we survived and thrived. Thank you.
What was their path from idea to opening day?
So, game theoretically, the idea was to set up these different independent, autonomous, but coordinating groups. So when I hired people, I hired a program director, and then they had their support staff. And I told each one of them that they are essentially their own entrepreneur, and that we are all just I exist to facilitate them. We also, in designing the place, we designed it like as an open concept, so you could just see everything that's going on, no walls, nothing hidden. And then we kept the menu open and flexible and variable, so we just put random ideas out there, and then if they work, they work. If they don't, we take them away, replace them with something different. Mutation, natural selection, and but even after opening day, it was a long road before I saw that, before the reality came anywhere close to resembling the plan.
What is the hardest thing about starting your own business?
Money is the big one. The first one, because you need money to make money, and it is very expensive starting up a business, way more expensive than you could imagine. And then on top of that, the problem, the reason why most restaurants or cafes go out of business is because they don't have enough capital reserve. So you not only need a lot of money just to open your doors on day one, but you need a big supply of money to stay open until you start becoming profitable. And that's a long time. And then the second thing that's difficult is people. People are troublesome, and they don't always turn out to be the way that they make their first impression. They don't live up to their promises. Sometimes we've had some really bad apples, but we've also had amazing people, and once we changed our hiring policy, where we preferenced friends of the people that work here, and found that when people bring their friends in, that it creates a common culture and a sort of a consistent vibe. And so eventually we kind of figured out how to deal with the people problem. But dealing with people in general, always tricky. God, it was a horrible answer. But anyways.
Well, what does a typical day look for you as a business owner?
Great question, Elijah.
Hey.
You never know until you walk in the door what the heck is going to happen on any given day. It will surprise you every single time. And so the business owner, you have to be very adaptable, flexible, and it's a lot of putting out fires on top of planning and then just doing all the normal rigmarole. Right, Elijah?
Yes. What's your most popular item?
On the coffee side, I'd say the plain Jane, which is not plain at all, and it's our Ugandan gold bourbon vanilla house-made syrup, and then 2 shots of espresso specialty coffee, and then by default Strauss organic milk. It's a winner. Everyone loves it. On the bakery side, I'd say any of our laminated pastries, but my favorite is the almond croissant, and we make our own. Everything we make by scratch from hand. And that one, we make the marzipan that goes inside, the filling that goes inside, that we make everything from scratch. That's my favorite. Super messy, gets all over the place, beloved. And then finally, the basic beef burrito is applewood smoked bacon, Vermont cheddar, British coastal cheddar, hash browns, eggs, and then we have our house-made salsas. That one's probably our most popular breakfast item. Eliza?
Go. What's the most rewarding part of owning our business?
I would say making people's dreams come true. People walk through the door. As employees, people walk through the door and they're full of talent, and sometimes they don't know that they're talented or how talented they are. And then kind of helping someone to recognize their own talent and then cultivating the talent and then bringing them to success, which brings us, the business, to success. That is immensely rewarding. And then also for customers, when they get a 5 cents alive delight in something that they eat, they feel really deeply satisfied. That means that we've done our job right, and they're super happy, and that makes me happy.
Where do you source your coffee, and how's it important to you?
It's very important. So specialty coffee, or what's sometimes called third wave coffee, is where the shop is on top of and in control of every step of the process, from the farmer to the roaster to the barista to the customer's mouth. The whole thing, the whole art is very purposefully determined. And so in terms of sourcing, we work with roasters that source their beans from family farms. We've had actually the farmers, the coffee farmers, come and talk with us, and they talk about their different specialty lots and how they grow it and the way that they take care of their workers and so on. So yeah, the sourcing of the coffee is an integral step, an integral part of specialty coffee, and it's the way to ensure that the coffee is absolutely unsurpassed.
How do you think your coffee connects with the community?
So coffee shops, if they're any good, they just become natural attractors to the community, becomes a community hub. And so every morning, people from the community come and they talk and they connect and they exchange. And that's probably the most important function of the coffee shop. And actually that goes like all the way back hundreds of years to the original coffee shop. A lot of the intellectual, what do you call that? fertility, fecundity of the of Europe during the during the Enlightenment period and beyond had to do with intellects hanging out in coffee shops and exchanging ideas. So it is a long history of being an essential part of the community connecting.
Come on. Why are local businesses important to the neighborhoods?
Great question, Elijah.
Thanks.
Well, for one, every community depends on there being an active economic base, and so a good business contributes to that economic base, which in turn makes property values go up, and makes a place more attractive for people to live and to hang out. But also for other reasons I can't think about right now.
What's something you wish you knew first start?
How hard it is to start a business. I didn't know what I was in for. I might not, if I could go back and tell myself everything that I had to go through in order to get to where I am now, I might not have done it in the first place. So I almost had to trick myself into starting a business in order to get to the place where I'm at now. But I would say, so for business people, for aspiring business people, the first person that I should have hired should have been an accountant. And having an accountant in place on day one, I think would have made a lot of difference. Also, the other big thing that I learned was, originally I just hired based on qualifications, Elijah. And, you know what? Qualifications aren't as important as not being an asshole. Can I say that? Is that allowed to be said? That, people can be really qualified and they could also be jerks and not get along with other people. And for a business to operate, everyone has to really vibe together. And so I would have prioritized vibing over qualifications. And I would have made you the lead barista. Okay, that's all.